Hello, GWC students. I know we're technically all Huntington Beach Unified students, but you are all officially GWC students if you're seeing this. So I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Professor Jaregi. You can call me Professor J or Mr. J via email, or if I ever see you in any of my office hours, that works perfectly. Remembering how to say my last name is pretty difficult. And since we won't be seeing each other all that often, I totally understand just Mr. Professor J. So, just so you know, I'm speaking to two classes here. I know about half of you are from Ocean View and the other half are from Westminster High Schools. So, yeah, I'll kind of speak a little bit more vaguely when it comes to that. But I just wanted to give you a lowdown of how this class is going to work this semester. So right now you're seeing this Canvas page. Hopefully everyone has access to the Canvas page. I'll go through this Canvas page in a little bit, but if you can't see this, please email me and we'll figure that out. Because in theory, you should be seeing this video either through this page or in an email I've sent to you. So one of those two, if you're here, great. If not, email me. But first things first, you can click the syllabus, which is what we're going to go through mainly in this video. And that's right here. It should pop up. Cool. And yeah, in case you ever forget anything, all the info is here. So if you're not on Canvas yet, please take down this email address right here. Press pause on the video and look at that. Yeah, I know this says Ocean View, but if you're on the Westminster Canvas page, they look identical or should look identical. And that's a good thing to bring up. Sometimes I receive an email and I fix something for one class and then it just slips my mind or doesn't get fixed correctly in the other class. So don't ever be afraid to email me whenever there's any issues. Um, in an online class, it's sometimes a little difficult to get everything running as smoothly as you'd hope. So, yeah, here's the info. It says 160 and 1000. That's only because the schools are in transition of changing the course number. It'll eventually be 1000, but on my paperwork, it actually still says 160. Kind of awkward. So yeah, some basic info, intro to stats, online office hours. So if there's ever any questions on how things are working, or you have a weird question that's a little hard to explain via email, or just are a little bit confused on a topic, you can join me on Zoom. You can see on this, oops, on the Canvas page, I have them at 8 p.m. on Sundays. And again, I'll show you, let's see. Mhm. Right here, the link's there, Sunday, 8 p.m. But you can click on that. Every Sunday should be there unless something kind of weird goes on. But yeah, so you can check that out. How the class will go on Canvas, there'll be weekly modules with lecture videos and homework assignments. Right, so you can see that. So let's click on the weekly module. All the weeks are posted here, but they're not all active. I'm going to start by trying to be 2 weeks ahead of you. Um, but right now, as I say that, only week one is posted. So you can click on week one, and here it is. Here are the lecture video. This syllabus video will be here. So that'll be public once by the time you see this video. But you see your notes, you see the lectures. There's usually a discussion, some homework, and a quiz. And it looks like that for every week. It's kind of like the same idea week after week to remain as consistent as possible. And then just to be the most clear, if you click on the task list, I give a little overview of what's going on and then tell you, bullet point by bullet point. If you follow these 1 through 9, or it's like 1 through 6 most of the time, you're going to be golden in this class. And that's going to be the main thing you do. So what goes on in those bullet points? Well, starting week two, there'll be graded discussions. That's where I kind of get to interact and comment on what you think about the topics we're going over. You'll often be going over these discussions with your high school instructor. So we'll make sure that we get a deeper understanding of the stats, because sometimes just quizzes and tests and homework don't really get the point across, in particular, since I'm not able to see you every day or weekly. There's a small discussion week one. It's ungraded. just as we're getting into the groove of things, but I'll start week two grading them. Homework assignments, you saw there, you can click on them. Um, Let me go back real quick. So you should be able to click on them here. And uh, yeah, it should be there. And it should upload right in that page or load in a new window. I'm not going to click it now because it might bring me somewhere weird. But you should be automatically logged in. There's no sign up needed. Again, if not, please let me know. The quizzes look just like the homework, except you only get two tries. The homework, you get unlimited tries. You should really just keep burning through them until you get full credit. Unless there's something really weird that I didn't go over or the program seems to be messing up, email me. Skip that problem, email me. Uh, the tests, we'll talk a little bit more about tests when we get there, but they will be in Canvas, one try, way more strict on the timing, and they will be with your high school instructor. So that's that. Attendance policies, I have this in all my syllabi. It's not as big of an issue with you all, but I will notice if you miss 2 weeks of quizzes slash tests, or if you're missing two discussions, right? When I see those zeros there, then I'll start to reach out and perhaps we need to talk about dropping the course, and that's perfectly okay. But with our students here, we really try to not let that happen and make sure everyone is successful. Not logging into online homework for a week, uh, unless you're so far ahead. I don't notice that one as closely, I'll be perfectly honest, but these two come up a lot more obviously to me. So the course description, you've probably taken some sense of stats in your first semester, so you know kind of what's going on. But basically, we're taking a long, long build up into how to apply stats in the real world. If you want to call this class hypothesis tests, that would make sense to me because you spend like 12 weeks building up to the ultimate statistical procedure, and that's what we're working toward. Um, yeah, so that's that there. Student learning outcomes, basically, we want you to be able to go into whatever job that requires stats and be able to actually talk about it or not be completely clueless when someone's talking to you about it. Be able to read a report and know what these sentences or the specific verbiage actually means. It's one of the only math classes that it's directly applicable to a real world job. There's not really a job out there where you're factoring or solving equations. There sort of is, but um, not as much. That's all like side stuff into some other job, and computers do a lot of that stuff. Course objectives, no need to go through them. Resources, we follow a book in OpenStax. There's the link to it. You literally never have to click this book. You can if you want. If you love reading textbooks, that's perfectly okay. But we use it more as an ordering, and then we go basically through my notes. Um, you may download this book for free. Yeah, yeah. It is free online. You can buy a hardcover if you want. That's up to you. We need a calculator, TI-83 or 84. There are other calculators that function fine, like the Inspire or TI-89, but I will be using this one. All my lectures will be taught out of these two calculators. And then it's an online class. We got to have computer access, right? Doesn't make sense without that. But yeah. Um, Disabled students and program services, if you need any testing accommodations, so make sure to get in contact with your high school's accommodation coordinator and as well as GWC's because I need the confirmation from GWC. So if you have any testing accommodations at the high school level, that doesn't automatically flow over. That paperwork needs to get to them. Any issues with that, let me know. Or your high school instructor, that they'd be a great resource so we can work together to get that going. Um, Academic dishonesty, don't cheat. I noticed last semester for the first time, really, a lot of cheating in the discussion. Usually it's pretty good at the high school level, but I taught an online at the college level, and I directly saw, prompts from ChatGPT. So try to be as honest as possible. Using ChatGPT as a help or explanation resource is amazing, but try to do things in your own words. All All right, grading distribution. So homework, 30% of your grade. Uh, it's pretty straightforward. It's unlimited tries. In theory, this should be a guaranteed 30%. So I really hope we take advantage of that. Quizzes are 10%. So remember, only two tries on that. And the quizzes are kind of hyper focused. It says right there, there'll be quizzes week one to the end of the semester. They'll be on my open math, but they're hyper focused. They're the most important questions to get across during, each chapter, so you can study for the tests. Discussions are 15%. Um, you'll be posting those on Canvas. Try to post your intro discussion. The links are right there in the modules, so you can click on that intro discussion and it should go just fine. And you're going to want to make a post and then also post on other people's discussions. I'll pay attention to that. Some posts may be inherently political. They're not necessarily political, but kind of current topics. There's a lot of political things going on in the world, so you might feel like it's an appropriate thing to post, and I think that's perfectly okay. But everyone's entitled to their own thoughts. So if you want to challenge somebody, I suppose that's okay too, but be mindful to other people's feelings in the posts. It's not a place for hostility or rudeness. We can learn to challenge each other with a sense of curiosity, integrity, and mindfulness. Homework, it's due weekly. It's due every Sunday, along with the discussion, along with the quizzes. If there's one reason people fail this class is because for some reason they don't do the homework, or they'll do the homework like about half of them. Um, yeah, you do them as many times as you wish. Procrastination really hurts in this class. It's probably the one thing that I really don't allow makeups for any reason. It's an online course, so anywhere you are, vacation, weddings, even sick, you should be able to do this homework. Quizzes and tests, we'll talk. I'm a little bit more lenient about, and we'll find some makeup times, but homework really should be there. If there's ever any mistakes that you feel my open math is making, or you've worked a problem 5 times and still can't get it, put it aside and then come to office hours and we'll talk about it. I can fix those type of questions and those grades after the fact. So that's not ultra vital. Like a few questions here and there won't kill you. We have 3 exams for the semester. Like I said, we will speak more about it when it comes to test time. The different schools may have to do them differently depending on if you're block schedule or not block schedule. So um, we'll talk about that when we get there. There will be a week final on the week of May 20th. I know this might be a little bit complicated with some AP tests, but as long as you communicate with me beforehand, we can figure it out. And I don't have an attendance policy. I thought I had one, but it's okay. We can talk about it now. So really, really important for attendance. And I'm telling both the high school instructors this as well. If you're going to miss test for whatever reason, sports, sickness, even if it's a concert, although you shouldn't miss tests for concerts, whatever it is, let me know. Yeah, I guess I talk about it right here. Classes versus this. I'm always willing to work with your schedule if you communicate with me before the fact. If you miss the test on Thursday, Friday, and then email me on Monday, the following Monday, I won't let you make it up. It's one of my only strict rules, that and homework. But yeah, if you email me, I don't really need an official excuse, although they're useful. Uh, I just need that acknowledgement that you are taking the class seriously so we can find a time and place to make it up. Because it's a lot of work to find these makeup times. It's a lot of work on, well, it's a lot of work on your high school instructor. So let's try to respect their time and make sure we can get this done whenever appropriate. Uh, Class tips for success, keep on schedule. It's the best thing. Respect your fellow students. I mean, you're probably going to be a little bit better about that just because you see each other every day. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Come to my office hours, ask questions. Let's talk about it. Send me emails. I'm going to actually, I don't typically do this, but I'm going to make sure your email is connected to my phone. I don't love that normally, but I want to be a little bit more responsive this semester. Um, so send me an email. I should be able to email back. Also, speaking with your instructor, both of them can text me and they can get a hold of me a little bit quicker. I'm quicker with my texts than my emails, but there's that. Philosophy. There's a general rule that for college classes, you should spend 2 hours working outside the class for every hour in the classroom. Fine. For math classes, that should be raised to probably 3 hours. So 6 hours a week working on this class, but that shouldn't be crazy for you because you spend, 2-ish hours a week in the classroom with your high school instructor. So there'll be some weeks that don't require as much time, but this class does require time. And that's all what this philosophy is here for. Just to recommend you note that it is time sensitive. Here's the schedule. Nothing spectacular. Spring break worked out really nice. It's right after test two, and then we get to relax. Sometimes it's right before test two, and it's kind of annoying. But you can take a look at that anytime. And that's what we got. Well, there may be a mistake in the final date, but I'll correct that. That may be, this is May 20th, but it should be May 25th. Yeah, we can correct that when we get closer. But yeah, that's the class. Here's the canvas. From the home page, you see everything you really want to know. Syllabus is right there. Zoom link. These links are there. They're not really active though. When you click week 3, I can see it, but you can't because it's not public yet. I will try to be a little bit more ahead of the game. Part of the reason I might be behind the game is because I have a new daughter. She's 18 months. You can see her there in a Christmas outfit, and again on Christmas there. That's me. Ignore the goofy smile. Here's a little bit about me. Yeah, that's my baby Margot. So, yeah. If there's anything else, send me an email. But I look forward to this semester. And I look forward to everyone doing amazing and getting done with a college math course. So, without further ado, I will see you all this semester. All right, y'all. Have a good one.